people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. For people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
I'm Judy Bailey in the One Network newsroom.
Freelance cameraman Brian McCausland was filming when his assistant was grabbed from behind. When a second man joined in, McCausland went to the aid of his camera assistant. With the fire under control, the fire service stepped in to cool the situation on the street.
Filming anything like that, I'd be the first one to put my camera down and help. You know, if I seen someone in problem.
Searchers scoured the Christchurch suburb of Bromley today for a 6-year-old girl who's been missing since after school yesterday.
The Bromley community mobilised in support, with more than 65 volunteers helping with the search. But a comprehensive search of the field this morning failed to find any sign of Louisa. Bob Darmadrin fears his daughter has been abducted.
Today, investigators were at the scene of the Southerner Express crash, trying to establish what caused the double tragedy.
It had just gone 9 this morning. The Southerner was charging southward on the main trunk line at about 70 k's. Moments later, chaos. The cement truck appears to have crashed into the side of the locomotive.
Leading your news out.
Scott Watson's journey to court to face 2 murder charges. He was arrested at breakfast time this morning at Rangiora and held for several hours.
As Watson begins a life sentence, the future of his yacht, the Blade, is less certain.
About 30 police charged the front gate, then turned the gang headquarters over. 2 hours earlier, a couple of police officers had been attacked with softball bats and bricks. They'd just chased 3 bikies across the city and say when they arrived here, up to 30 gang members stormed out to meet them.
It has not been an easy career though, as we know.
Saturday night's party night, it always has been. Teenagers looking for fun, meeting up with friends, teenagers doing what teenagers do. But you're not meant to die, you're not meant to be left fighting for your life in hospital, you're not meant to be mourning a dead child.
Residents were today still reeling from their close call.
We certainly would have been killed.
As the quake roared and rumbled, hurling bricks, furniture and roof beams sharp as spears, somehow they escaped in the nick of time.
This is about as close as we can get to the epicentre of the quake, and you can see the sheer force of what came through here.
Just hours ago, there was a building here, damaged but standing. An aftershock brought it crashing down. It's happening right across the city. Unstable and unsafe.
Welcome to One News at 6.
Other fires continue to burn, waiting for first light when helicopters are brought in to access hotspots.
New video of the moments following the crash.
Drivers down south are being warned to watch out for icy road conditions.
They hoped it wouldn't happen again. The big winter chill. A landscape turned to ice, its inhabitants frozen.
Brian McCausland was a freelance cameraman who worked for more than 2 decades for this channel. On Tuesday night, he passed away at his home in Christchurch, surrounded by his family after a short battle with cancer. Brian was a boss when it came to breaking news. He was responsible for countless stories and pictures you will have seen over the years. He was also a real character, 8 years ago, he guided me through the very first story I ever covered for TVNZ on my very first day working for this channel. And for every story, he brought his wicked sense of humour. We're thinking tonight of his friends and colleagues, especially those in Christchurch, and of Brian's family. That's 7 sharp. We'll see you tomorrow.
Something keeps him moving, but no one seems to know what it is that makes him go. Then the lights begin to flicker and the sound is getting dim. The voice begins to fall.
And before we have to leave you today, we want to make a very special mention of a much-loved cameraman, Brian McCausland, who has been a freelance cameraman for TVNZ for well over 20 years, probably closer to 30 years. On Tuesday night, he passed away at his home in Christchurch after battling cancer for some weeks. He would have filmed many of the pictures you at home would have seen on major breaking news events over the years, and he had a well-deserved reputation for being the first on the scene at lots of breaking stories, always happy to jump out of bed in the middle of the night for us, and literally would drive over live wires in the midst of a storm to get the best pictures. Brian was a very important and cherished part of the news gathering team here at TVNZ, especially the Christchurch newsroom. A true character, always laughing. He will be dearly, dearly missed by us.